I want to do a special recognition tonight. I want to recognize and welcome our new county manager that's here tonight, Mr. Chris Eldridge. We appreciate him being here with us tonight, and we appreciate his support. I just wanted to recognize him. Welcome to Bulloch County. Okay. I also want to recognize all persons that served in the military and are deployed now. Is there anybody here that served in the military?
Any veterans? Please stand, veterans.
We want to thank y'all for your service. Thank you very much. Mr. Sykes?
Ricky, go ahead. Okay, we're going to now let John Edwards come forward and give us a presentation. He wasn't expecting to do this, but we kind of leaned on him for him to do it. John is a very good public speaker. Retired from the GBI, mentored by me, and has served as an instructor throughout the nation. And really would serve much more throughout the world, etc., if he would fly. He refuses to fly. But he's very good at, he got a master's degree, he's got all kinds of degrees and certificates and all this other stuff. But during his career at the GBI, he became an instructor. And as I often kid about John, when he starts talking about things and prolificating and stuff, I said, I wish I'd never taught you how to read. But he's very good at what he does. And he's going to entertain us just a minute per se, or talk about public safety for a couple of minutes. He's an author. He's written several books, both in regards to law enforcement techniques, etc., and also in regards to, what do you call those things, novels? The novels about coastal Georgia and the development and the history of coastal Georgia. It doesn't name real people's names, but you can look at it and tell what it's about. He's very good at doing that. He's been very successful in doing that. So, John, without further ado, I'll let you make a couple of remarks, and then we'll move forward.
Good evening. My brother Jack is with the Lord now. He went to medical school, went down to Valdosta, worked at Valdosta Hospital, and his wife, Fran, draws a very good retirement. Jack left her really well. My brother Joe retired from British Petroleum as the head of purchasing for North America. My brother Joe has what my mother called cotton in Augusta. He's got a 3-story house on Lake Lanier with a damn elevator. I live on the banks of the Canoochee River on the Evans-Bulloch line down here in a meager house. And they would come at Christmas to visit me back when Mom and Daddy were alive. And we all drank scotch. That was the common denominator. And they'd bring their single malts, $100 a bottle. And I'd pull out my Johnny Walker Red in 1995. And we would fellowship and talk about Christmas. But you know what I had that my rich brothers didn't have? You know what each of you have that rich folks don't have? Stories. You've seen more in your little bit of a career than most people see in an entire lifetime. Now, here's the point of it. I'm not going to be long because I'm here to talk about something very near and dear to my heart, and I'll try to not get emotional about it in a minute. In life, there's two prisms we see. There's the lower gaze and there's the upper gaze. And what you inherit here tonight as public safety officials, whether you work off the fire truck, the police car, or the ambulance, doesn't matter, is we see people that know the upper gaze and they don't walk the path of the lower gaze. And let me explain that real quick. The lower gauge is about self. It's about me. The lower gauge is about power. It's about being somebody with power. The lower gauge is about pride. And the lower gaze involves people that are takers and matchers. They like to get things. I give you something, you give me something back. No, you're fixed on the upper gaze. The upper gaze involves folks like you sitting around these tables that put others first, self last. We have a rich history in public safety, listen to me now, for dying for people we don't know. Humility, running toward work and not away from it. And here's where the rubber meets the road. Life's a journey, and it ends up for everyone in this room a final destination. We're all going there. And that final destination are the chords of our journey. And those chords make up the melody of our life. Now, God works through those in the world that reflect him. And what you all are in this room, and I want you to think about this now, what each of you are in this room are image bearers. You bear the good Lord's image because that's what you do. You're his representatives on earth, and he made you to work through you. That's what public safety people do. You reflect his character. You're his stewards. Each of you in here are an agent for the good Lord. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, you have those stories. And let me tell you something. Listen very closely. I can be Eon BOT. What's his damn name? Eon Musk. I could be Bezos, Jeff Bezos. I could be the richest person in Bulloch, damn County, Georgia. Okay? But if I get broke tomorrow, I can go make more money. Not a problem. You get broke, go make more money. Money is a renewable resource. But you know what's not renewable? Time. Time's not renewable. You get so much of it, you spend it, and it's gone. And the beauty of this crowd here, and I want you to tell yourself this, when you go home tonight, you say your prayers. The beauty of this crowd here is you are professionals at spending time well. Now, that's all I've got to say about you. I'm going to talk about what's dear and near to my heart. God's given me a hell of a career. Charles talks about my teaching, my book writing, and my travels. Novels isn't anything to me. I can write 500 of them if I need to. I draw from deep wells of experience and make it up as I go. My nonfiction books are nothing because I have been blessed to work with some of the greatest human beings that breathe. We just lost one of those that was lost before his time in our eyes. But if you remember what I told you about you, it affects him too. We call it the mystery. If you read about the Apostle Paul, if you read the Greek translations, mystery, mystery, mystery. He keeps talking about that. And what that means is we can't question things. I don't know the reason Tracy Sands is not with us tonight. It should have been me, should have been Charles, a lot of us other folks. But the Lord chose him. But I want to take just a minute to tell you what he meant and why he meant. He called me right before the Lord called him. And he said, boss, he says, I want you to go and watch court TV. I want you to see me. He worked this big case. I mean, a huge case. It will make a major motion picture one day. And he was proud of the interview he did to get the facts he needed from this guy because he knew as a young agent, he knew that a 15-page lie convicts just as quick as a 3-page confession. And I went and I watched it because he asked me to, and I called him back and I said, well done, Tracy Sands. Well done. Now, what I would like for you to know about him, we talked about gazing up. His eyes were always fixed on gazing up. In criminal investigations, there's 4 things we have to do. And listen to me now, we have to do them well. Because listen to me, in criminal investigations, you only get one chance. That's fact finding, that's sense making, that's formulating strategy, and it's the tipping point. When to push the button to know when to arrest somebody. Because once you arrest somebody in a major murder case, everything goes to that person. And if you miss something, it's going to come back and haunt you real bad. Tracy was a fine agent as ever doing all four of those things. I was with Vernon Keenan, former director of GBI, the other night. I had supper with him. We were talking about Tracy. So, you know, he was one of our best, John, one of the best ever. I said, Vernon, he sure was. I was with Chris Hosey a couple of nights ago having supper with him, the current director of the GBI. He said, John, he was one of our best. I said, Chris, he sure. Billy Hitchens, Colonel of State Patrol, same thing. Everywhere in the upper echelon of state government, they talk about Tracy Sands, what a fine agent he was. But the biggest compliment of Tracy Sands is you and is his peers. Because I was I teach in command college, and I had a young man who's the captain of homicide at Savannah PD, Alex Tobar. And he came up to me and says, John, he says, I knew you knew him real well. And I said, he's like a son to me. And he says, John, I want to tell you something. He was the real deal. I said, yes, sir. He was the real deal. Tracy was so good, and listen to me, I'm fixing to be through, but this is an important point. What made Tracy Sands a hell of a GBI agent, and far exceeding many, to include me, was that he could take paradox, two conflicting stories, two conflicting perspectives, and he could hold them in his mind at the same time. Then he had the self-discipline to deal with that tension for the truth to emerge. That's what real criminal investigators that are just in the small margin of all of us can do. That's a gift. That's a God-given gift, and he had it. I can say this. I know right where he is, but there's a poem, a little statement from Catherine Drexel. She was a nun in the 50s, and I looked at what all I could end this with. You couldn't find anything better than this when I talk about Tracy. If we wish to serve God and love our neighbor well, we must manifest our joy in the service we render to him and them. I knew no other police officer in my 47-year career that knew how to do that better than Tracy Sands. Okay. Melissa, if you and Lindsay would come up, they want to present you a plaque.
Oh, sorry, I was talking.
One more time. Thank you.
Now I'd like to call on Sheriff Noel Brown as we recognize the service and the life of Deputy Kenny Harville.
Good evening, and again, I'd like to thank each and every one of you in this room for your service, every respected agency in this room. You put your lives on the line every day. Your families let you go off to us every day to do your jobs. And without a doubt, family, thank you for having to sit at home all those hours without your family members and think about certain things and uncertainties, if you will. Without y'all, we wouldn't have the ones that we have working for us. And I ask now if this room would, before I do this presentation, give a round of applause to all our families and family members that sit on us. If the Harble family, Karen, Ken, if y'all come on up. There's a lot I don't know about Mr. Kenny, about his time with the sheriff's office under Paul Neville and Sheriff Honor Akins. But I do want to say this. I knew him personally as a gentleman that was my elder and a friend in the community, to where I will say this, and I think his children would also say, that if he had a problem, God rest Terry's soul, the first thing she'd do is call me and say, Uncle Kenny needs you out there at the house. I would go out there and speak with him about stuff going on. He had a big heart. And from asking some of the ones that served back in the time that he served, is that he was a very, I guess, a matter of fact. If you needed to go somewhere like the jail, he was going to take you there. But if not, he could talk with you in a gentle way and get something worked out. In the late 70s, some things happened and transpired that Mr. Kenny decided it was time to make a choice for the betterment of his family, to whether stay in public safety or go with another love of his, and that was to be in the electrical work with Georgia Power. So he chose that, and he went on to serve with Georgia Power for many years until his retirement. But I want to say on behalf of the Bulloch County Sheriff's Office, the citizens of Bulloch County, I thank you for your father's service during the time that he did serve. And again, he was a good friend to me. I never knew him as a deputy, but I knew him as a citizen here in Bulloch County, and he surely supported our office and all that we did every day. And we love him and we'll miss him. And again, this is a token to this group here and us, to y'all, and we thank you so much.
I served with him. I was a Bulloch County jailer whenever he was a deputy.
Take a look at me. Here you go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda, I'd like to ask Art Rusty Rankin, if you will, come up, sir, and make your presentation for us.
Yes, sir. Corporal Ramirez is going to do the presentation. He's the one who took the time and the effort to put together the memo to make for the report.
We'll bring you with you.
So he's going to allow him to speak.
You both gonna come up.
I'm pretty sure he don't leave me to hold his hand, though. You might.
Good evening, afternoon, nighttime. This time change has got me messed up. So does the allergy season too, so excuse me if my voice is a little hoarse. This year, Post 45, we've nominated Sergeant Robbie Scott for the Meritorious Service Award. I'm Corporal Aaron Ramirez, and like he said, this is Sergeant First Class Rusty Rankin. We work at Post 45 Statesboro. Starting with Robbie, first off, I want to thank his family. It seems like any time that I call him, he's always willing to answer, and I think a big part of it has his family to thank for that. His family always supports him, and they also support us, helping us whenever we need any kind of help. I want to thank his church and his community as well. He's always attending church and helping them with their community events, and they support him and his family wholeheartedly. Sergeant Scott has a public servant's heart. He's always there for us whenever we need him. I consider Robbie a mentor of myself. When I was on the road, I'm sure he got tired of hearing my phone calls come up on his contacts. He was always somebody I could call, and be able to contact and be able to get help whenever it was needed. He started his career in public service, joining the National Guard where he served for 9 years. Once he did that, he started with the State Patrol in 2007. It's a long time, Robbie. He's been doing it for a long time now, but because of that, he's knowledgeable. We got a board at the post. We do a nickname board. We like to make fun of people. That's just what we do at the post. One of the two that stand out for me is dad jokes. Robbie's got a lot of dad jokes. Some of them not so good, but that's okay. And we also have all the answers, because he really does have all the answers for us. I think I can speak for everybody at the post that works there, that whenever they call Robbie with a problem, he's going to have the answer for you. He's been a complete asset to not only the post, but to the Department of Public Safety as well, attending multiple trainings, obtaining multiple certifications to be able to not only help us, but help future troopers that come on and go to trooper school. He assists them as well. And I truly thank Robbie, and that's why we nominated him for the Meritorious Service Award. Anything you want to add?
Yes, sir, you did a fine job. I will say this. I lean on Robbie a lot. I've gone a lot. I do a lot of training, and now that I'm further in my career, I do a lot of traveling as well. So I leave him at the post to run things, and I couldn't ask for anybody to do any better job than what he does for us. And he's also a great asset to the community. He's very, very active in the community, and you all should be proud of him and glad to have him, because I know we are.
Look at me. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to get into the public servant nominations for each department. I'm going to call up the department head and let him do the presentation. And as you, in the past, we've had everybody stand up here. We're going, this year, everybody, you come up, get your award, and go back and sit down. At the end, we'll all come up and get a picture together, but instead of everybody standing up here. We're going to start off with area back with Mr. Jody Schumann. Would you please come up?
For area back, our nominee this year started his career at Georgia Southern, getting a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. Once he left there, he enlisted in the Army. He served for 22 years as a critical care nurse in the military, retired from the military after 22 years, spent a year at St. Joseph's Hospital as a critical care instructor, liaison, and has been with us for a little over 4 years now. So his latest endeavor, I think, outranks everything. Putting forth all of his efforts to serve. He was recently elected this year as our new County Commission Chairman. Area back's nominee is David Bennett.
Chief Tim Grahams from the Statesboro Fire Department.
This year, the Statesboro Fire Department nominated FAO Cody Hanna. Cody, if you want to start making your way up here. Cody's one of those individuals who has a genuine commitment to serving others. He's taken an active role in numerous department programs and initiatives and always looking for ways to improve himself, support his co-workers, and make a difference in the community. He approaches every task with professionalism and a strong sense of purpose, whether it's on an emergency scene and training or through the various committees and projects he's involved in. Cody's dedication, positive attitude, and willingness to step up whenever he's needed make him a valued member of our department. So we're proud to recognize FAO Cody Hanna as this year's Statesboro Fire Department's nominee.
Y'all bring the big red truck?
There's probably one sitting out there.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. From 911, Kelly Barnard.
Good evening, I'm Kelly Barnett. I'm the 911 Director for Bulloch, Evans, and Candler County. Our nominee this year is Dontarius Lester. D, you might as well start heading this way. We call him D. He came to work for Bulloch 911 about 4 years ago. He already had experience with communications with Emmanuel County 911, and we were lucky enough to get him to come to our 911 center. D became a shift supervisor and a certified training officer about 2 years ago. He's assigned on our night shift. In fact, he is supposed to be at work right now working the night shift, but he's here with us for a little while. He was nominated and voted by our own communications officers in-house. They're the ones who nominated him. D is our in-house computer guru. He can create a Google document before I can even open up the program. He's already got it created, sent out. Everybody knows exactly what needs to be done. He has also helped in the last couple of years to help us rewrite and clean up our SOPs, which is always so much fun. But he also has created our shift calendar, which we had old-fashioned calendar that we used to write names on, and then somebody needed to change the shift, and we were erasing and rewriting and erasing and rewriting. Well, he has now got us all up to date, online, brand new, on the computer shift calendar. So he's also such a rule follower that if you want to see one that's a rule follower, take a look at D. That's him. One morning I came into work. I sit down at my desk and there's a write-up on the desk. I look down and think, okay, what is that? He wrote himself up. Wasn't anything major, something minor, but he is one that he's not going to expect you to do something that he's not going to do the exact same thing. Wrote himself up. Now that was a first for me. Never had that happen. D is very professional in his call taking technique. He has a way of running his shift that just exemplifies the need that we need on our shift, and that he makes sure that everybody follows those SOPs and policies, and he pushes the shift to be the best at what they need to be, the best call taker, the best dispatcher that they can possibly be. Dontarius Lester is our nominee.
Sheriff Noel Brown, please.
All righty. Sergeant Kermit Williams, you want to come forward? Folks, this year I'm reflecting back on something that basically is like the rim on your vehicle that your tire wraps around. Come on up here, my man. It's the Bulloch County Sheriff's Office jail. Throughout the state of Georgia, our sheriffs sometimes forget what a sheriff's office was built off of. That was a sheriff in the jail and him holding the key. Well, tonight I want to talk about a young man that come to us from the state of Georgia, from the prison system, working as a detention officer during a time when our jail population was growing. Mental health was off the rail, if you will. And good Lord of mercy, gang affiliation and everything else. Our violent crime has risen to a point where, folks, you merely come over to drop somebody off at the jail when you speak to someone like this, or some of the other jailers. You ever think about what they put up with after you leave that person with them? Until all the court case, all the court trips, until we reach all the continuances one after another and another, putting off this, putting off that. It can go from 6 months to a year or longer. And this gentleman right here has to put up with it. When he come on board, we saw a need with the staff, not I, the staff. Come up with an idea of what's called a sheriff's escort team. Kind of like a CERT team, if you will, or emergency response team. Well, there's some very brilliant people inside of the office that work for me. And I'm going to tell you something. Since we put that in place, and that is for moving around people that are having issues that have to be put in administrative segregation, if you will. We call it G-Hall. I know our GBI has been down it several times over the years for different things. I am proud of the fact that once this was put in place with some of the ideas that Sergeant Williams has come up with, different ways of softer hand techniques, or if you will, ways to escort better, a lot of de-escalation that we all have to do now. I can tell you that our complaints, our incidents, have went down by far. Do we still have problems? Yes, we're going to have problems. But with this young man and his group, that I know he does not take it on as himself as being the one that does it all. But he basically, to me, is what everybody would want to be in dealing with people in a jail. Being able to talk to people, be able to talk them down, make them understand that they've broken a rule inside that place of incarceration and that we got to correct it. But you know, at the end of the day, I want to give a shout out to all jails throughout the state of Georgia, all detention facilities. Can you only imagine, folks, what they deal with in a 12-hour shift? I said 12 hours because at Bulloch County Sheriff's Office, that's what we work. Sometimes it turns into 14, 15, or 16. Just depends on what the demands of that day may bring. But I'd asked if this group would one time for all of detention people and our jailers that have to deal with all the cases that law enforcement brings in and never sees again unless they go to court for a visit or until it's disposed of. Let's give all of them a hand and give Kermit Williams a hand. And yes, he is my choice this year for Public Servant of the Year. Okay? We'll come down front. And I would welcome all of y'all to come visit sometime and let's take a tour of the jail. Most people say they want to come and they never do.
Next, we have the Bulloch County Fire Department. Is Chief Tapley here? And it's going to be Mitch.
Good evening. Mitch Sykes, Chief of Training for Bulloch County Fire. So when this came up for discussion, the comment was made that it's going to be very difficult. We have a lot of amazing people that work for us. For me, I thought it was pretty simple, and I kind of laid it out there, and then that was the end of the discussion. Captain Morgan Merritt, he's not been with us long, only just a little over a year. He came from Douglas Fire, was there for about 11 or 12 years, and we were fortunate enough to get him here. And he has just gone above and beyond in any way and every way imaginable. So, Merritt, he's not a people person as far as large crowds. So, this is not his thing right here, but Morgan has recently been promoted into training as a captain for us. He works, I don't have to ask him. I don't have to tell him what's needed. He sees it, he does it. The way that he cares for our new recruits and the guys that are in training, the time that he spends, the way that he mentors them is absolutely amazing. So we are grateful to have him, and he is very much deserving of this. So thank you for everything you do.
I'll be right behind you. Bulloch County EMS, Brian Hendricks.
Good evening, everyone. Caitlin, you want to make your way down here? So our nominee was Caitlin Wilson. She came to us from Chatham County, January of 24, so she hasn't been with us very long. She's made a big impact since she's been here. She's assigned to C shift, Station 16, right down the road here. And Caitlin's been a dedicated member of Bulloch EMS, growing from a promising new hire into an exemplary employee whose professionalism and commitment sets the standards for others. She recently, in August, got her instructor license, and she's probably already done 15 or so CPR and first aid classes, either teaching other members of public safety or members of the community. So she continually strengthens her skills. She attended the Axioms of Leadership class, and like I said, her instructor class, and she enjoys sharing her knowledge with her former co-workers and members of the public. So Caitlin is our nominee for EMS. Yeah.
Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Lindsay Smith.
Good evening, everyone. Our nominee this year is Special Agent Joe Cephas Jr. You can make your way up if you'd like. Joe hasn't been with us too terribly long, a few years, and in his short time he has become an outstanding agent. He's one of the ones that I rely on most out of our office. If I'm checking the call roster to see who's going to be on call on any particular weekend and I see his name, I feel pretty confident that weekend's going to go well. I don't have to worry about anything with him. He uses his time wisely. He shows up early at work every morning. He's usually there in the 7 o'clock hour, and we don't open until 8:30. He does not use much free time. He is always filling it with something. Conversations generally consist of things about work and cases. He's very dedicated. We appreciate having him at the office. One quick little story just of something I noticed this week with him. He and the interns were in our conference room doing some financial digging through some records and stuff, and you could tell they were getting kind of flustered and frustrated. So I heard Joe say, well, hey, y'all, let's take a break. Well, his meaning of break was to go outside and crank the pool cars and our big crime scene truck. So he's diligent and just a very strong work ethic, and we appreciate him. So that's why we nominated him this year.
I'm coming.
Next is Georgia Southern University Department of Public Safety. We got Georgia Southern Vice President of Business and Finance, Mr. Ron Stonecker, and Captain Josh Barker.
Sam, you can come on up, buddy. Georgia Southern University has chosen to elect Sam Derr for this award. He's been with us for 9 years. In that time, he's truly dedicated himself to the job. It's been, 3 years in CID? And in that time, he comes to work at the right time of noon. Our day starts at 8 a.m., but Sam is dedicated to stay late and help our guys on patrol to make sure that they know that we're there to help, and that he shows them and shares his experience in the time that he's had. And he does that so I don't have to. And so for that, I appreciate you, and we thank you.
Statesboro Police Department, Chief Mike Broadhead.
Good evening, everybody. I think, as we all know, that there's a recruiting crisis across the country in law enforcement and certainly across the state of Georgia. And so tonight we're going to recognize our professional standard sergeant, Sergeant Sneed Collins. Sergeant Collins came into, for us, professional standards involves recruiting of new employees. And from the 2-year period from July of 23 until this past July, Sneed has been able to hire 41 new employees, 35 of those sworn officers. And in addition to that, I think another 12 to 14 interns that he's hired. And so the amount of work that goes into that, so Sneed's responsible for putting together hiring panels and doing the background checks on folks. And we hire about 20%, we think, of the total applicants we get, but the other 4 out of every 5 still require some work, whether getting interviews or starting background checks on them. So just the pure volume of work that he has put in, and we're really proud to say that we are not just full, but over full. We've been allowed to overhire, and that's only happened because of Sneed's hard work. So thanks, Sneed.
This is the selection of all those nominees of the Public Safety Person of the Year. This is a difficult position to be in for Jappy and Stan and I, because it's with all these people who have been put forth, and all of you in this attendance here on the streets tonight, etc. You are great officers of enforcement, of fire, corrections, or whatever. Noah brought up a good point in regards to correction officers tonight. John Edwards can preach to that in regards to he and I being in the prison system, conducting investigations at Reachville in the early 70s, late 70s, in the middle of riots. And while I was in there, another riot jumped off, and me and JB was back in the bowels of Georgia State Prison. And that's always been a highlight of his life, in telling that story about getting out of the prison system while that riot was developing at that particular time. Correction officers, to zero in on that nominee and others, have a difficult time. Selecting the final individual that we want to honor. This is our Bulloch County Outstanding Public Safety Officer of the Year plaque. They called me, and probably both of them, some time ago and said, do you know where the plaque is? And I said, well, last time it was at the Bulloch County Training Facility, and they moved it to put it in a more visible place and where this one will go as well. But we had filled up the last one, so this is a brand new one. So in making that choice, there were no fist fights this year. We were able to make the choice based upon your nominees. And thank you, each and every one of you, for providing people who are outstanding in your agency. And pretty much everybody is, but you have to pick out of that group to send somebody forward. So you understand the position that Jappy and Stan and I are always in regards to that. Because we've all, from police department, from fire department, from state law enforcement, we've all been in a position of, we've got some good people working up under us in this capacity as public safety people. So this year, we chose Sam Derr. If you'll come forward.
Good. He's putting us down. It's all come down. Come on down.
Yeah, everybody that was nominated, come on down.
Not yet. First, not yet.
Wait, this one first.
You come down, Charles. I want y'all to stand.
I want you down and me down.
Okay. Ain't nothing like organization structure.
I know, right?
Yeah, y'all stay there. Rest of the nominees and their, will come up, please.
Bring your plaque.
Bring your plaque.
As they say on the game show, come on down.
Get a wide man, Scott.
Make like you like one another.
Everybody look at me for 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Sam, we need that plaque back. Walk over here. When you get through taking pictures.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight. This will be concluding our program. Special thanks to all the recipients. Congratulations. Look at you for next year. Department heads, we thank you. John Edwards, it's always my pleasure. At this time, if there's nothing further for the good of the order, 2 words that are always appreciated. We gave the chiefs and the sheriff, everybody a list of who sponsors this event. 2 words are always appreciated throughout the day is thank you, not only to you, but those who contribute to put this forth. So the chiefs, the sheriff, whomever, their leaders of departments have a list of who has made this possible. So not only will they simply pen a note of thank you, if you see that list and you see these individuals on the street, stop and say thank you for supporting whomever you are. State Patrol, Sheriff's Office, Police Department, Fire Department, EMS, etc. The support is crucial to the environment in which we live. Thank you and good evening. But Stan got one other thing, department heads, don't forget those who help make that possible for the donors. You will be receiving letters. Please respond accordingly. Thank you.